everybody, and thank you for watching. Today I am going to go over adding footnotes and bibliographic citations in both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is an example paragraph. Let's say that this is my research. And you'll note right here I have a direct quote, right? So I found an excellent book with a direct quote that I wanted to use. Let's just say that this is the footnote for that excellent book. I'm going to copy that one, and I'm going to insert a footnote because anytime you have a direct quote, you need to make sure you're adding a footnote to show where this is coming from. Super important to remember that punctuation goes inside of the quotation mark, but your footnote goes outside of the quotation mark. We want to click on References right here. Insert footnote. This will automatically format it for you, so you don't need to create any of the formatting manually. And I'm going to paste that footnote in. If you're working with Dr. Valenzuela, you're also going to want to hit Enter or Return to add an additional line following that footnote. All right, so we know we need a footnote anytime we have a direct quote, but we also need a footnote if we're referencing information that we've read. So for instance, let's say that I have pulled a fact or a statement or a stance from an article, but I am not directly quoting it. We'll still need a footnote here. So same thing as before, insert footnote, paste that footnote, add that space, but afterwards that enter, that return, just so you have that space. And there we are. We have two footnotes, right? We can delete those from here. We don't need those anymore because I've already included them. But what we want to do now is we want to make sure that these footnotes are formatted correctly. So we're going to want to right click, or if you're on a Mac, hit Control and click Paragraph. So when we are formatting the footnotes in Microsoft Word, we use a special indentation called first line indentation. So we want to make sure we're using that first line indentation. There we are. That's what it looks like. Okay, so let's say we've completed our project and we're interested in creating our bibliography. How do we do that? First, we want to insert a page break, right? So we want to start a new page. We're going to say that this is our bibliography and we want to insert our citations. We'll no longer need those here because, as you remember, they were just references. So we've got our bibliography here. I want to remove those B's because the B just lets me know that this is a bibliographic citation. It is not necessary for the citation. Let's pretend that this is in alphabetical order because it actually is. And we want to make sure that this indentation matches what we need for a citation, for a bibliographic citation. So we're going to, again, right click on that, click on Paragraph. And when you're creating your bibliography, you want to use a special indentation. You want to use a hanging indentation. So what's really important to note is that sometimes it doesn't look like the hanging indentation took. All it means is that your citation isn't long enough to be in more than one line. So let's pretend that it is. And you'll notice that the indentation style has been formatted correctly, and you can now see that. So that is how you add footnotes and citations, bibliographic citations, to a Microsoft doc. Let's move over and talk about Google Docs. So when we're working in Google Docs, it's going to be very similar. Some of it might seem a little more intuitive because a lot of us work on Google Docs on a more regular basis than we do Microsoft Word. So just like before, I want to copy this. We've got that quotation right there, so we want to insert that footnote. You actually click Insert, click Footnote, throw it right in there. Add that space. All right, we want that second footnote. We're going to put that right there. Insert, footnote, add that second footnote, add that space. So we want to make sure that the indentation is correct here. So we are going to select all of our footnotes, and this is a little more complicated with our Google Docs. Once we've selected the footnote, we're going to click on Format, Align and Indent, and we're going to click Indentation Options. We want first line. Perfect. Do it with our second one. Awesome. So there we are with our indented footnotes. I'm going to go ahead and delete these from here. And I'm going to copy those. Delete that. You'll notice this footnote got a little funky. That's okay, just make sure it's in the right spot. We're going to insert a break, a page break. Again, we want our bibliography here. Delete those B's because they just stand for bibliography. Go ahead and format, change our alignment and indentation, and again, we want hanging for the bibliography. And let's pretend this is longer. Looks like our hanging indentation is working. There we have it. We have all of our footnotes and citations and our bibliographic citations formatted correctly. Thanks for watching.